What really happens after we die? The moment you take your final breath, the world of the living slips away. What awaits you is not darkness, but a journey through the realms of the Bardo, an intermediate state between death and rebirth. In the Tibetan tradition, the Bardo is not just a space or place. It is a passage, a threshold, a portal between the known and the unknown. As you cross over, you encounter the first Bardo, the Chikai Bardo. This is the moment of transition, when your soul is separated from the physical body. Your consciousness is still very much awake, but the sensations of the world fade away. The physical realm no longer holds you, and a new reality begins to unfold. Here, the soul is shrouded in the pure light of awareness, a light so brilliant, so overpowering, that it can either bring the soul to enlightenment or trap it in confusion. The light is symbolic of the ultimate truth, the clear light of the mind. But it is familiar only to those who have lived with a deep sense of inner peace. For most souls, this light will be terrifying, a strange and blinding force that they cannot fully comprehend. As the soul becomes aware of this light, it is faced with an immediate choice: to recognize it for what it is, or to turn away in fear, to fall back into the confusion of attachment and ego. The Bardo Thodol, also known as the Tibetan Book of the Dead, guides the soul through this crucial stage. It offers a warning. Do not be afraid of the light. Do not be deceived by the illusions of the mind. See the light for what it truly is. But the soul, in its confusion, may not be ready to accept this truth. It may instead become attached to familiar sensations or to the familiar comforts of its previous life. The Chikai Bardo is a time of great uncertainty. It is the first opportunity for the soul to break free from the cycle of samsara, the endless cycle of birth, life, and death. But few are prepared to recognize this opportunity. This stage, the first Bardo, is a test of awareness, of clarity, and of the willingness to let go of attachments. And when the soul chooses to embrace the light, it transcends the first stage and moves on. But if the soul chooses to ignore the light, if it clings to the darkness of its old life, it will fall into the next phase, the second Bardo, the Bardo of experiences, where it encounters the realms of illusion. When the soul entered the second Bardo, it found itself surrounded by illusions, multifaceted, changing visions, each one designed to trick the consciousness into confusion. The second stage is a time when the soul is confronted with the choices it made during life. All the regrets, all the unresolved issues, they now rise up as demons, literal demons or metaphorical. It doesn't matter. They are the reflections of the soul's inner turmoil. The soul experiences a vivid panorama of memories and experiences. These memories, some pleasant, some painful, flood the mind like a tide, pulling the soul deeper into the waters of desire and aversion. It will encounter visions of people, places, situations, each one offering the chance to reconnect to old attachments, old desires, old fears. And yet, these visions, these illusions, are not real. They are creations of the mind. The soul must recognize this, see these illusions for what they are, temporary, fleeting, and ultimately unimportant. But the soul may not see it that way. It might cling to the familiar, to the comforting, thinking it can somehow find peace in these illusions, forgetting that the only way to find true peace is through liberation. Familiar faces may appear, people the soul once loved or hated, offering comfort or anger, trying to pull the soul into feelings of attachment, reminding it of unfinished business. The second, Bardo, is a test of a soul's ability to transcend its emotional attachments. It is not just about recognizing these illusions. It is about choosing to let go of them. In this stage, the soul may encounter deities, both benevolent and demonic, each offering a different path to follow. The deities may appear as teachers, or they may appear as distortions, designed to either elevate the soul or deceive it. Some may appear in splendor, offering salvation and the hope of enlightenment. Others may be twisted, offering delusions that lead only to deeper entanglements. The soul, now surrounded by these images, must decide: do I trust the calm, clear voices calling me to liberation, or do I fall prey to the familiarity of the images, the comforting lie that promises peace but delivers only more suffering? Every choice here matters. The second Bardo is full of danger, but also filled with opportunities for deeper understanding. If the soul chooses the path of understanding, it will pass through this stage and enter the next phase, the third Bardo, the Bardo of becoming. But if the soul continues to cling to the illusions, if it refuses to let go of its attachments, it will fall into the next cycle of rebirth, where the soul will be born again, trapped in the cycle of life and death, still bound by its own limitations. As the soul passes through the second Bardo, it is drawn into the third Bardo, the Bard of becoming. Here the soul begins to shape its next existence, starting to forge the reality it will soon enter. But this stage is a fractured one, blurring the lines between what is real and what is imagined. The third Bardo is an intense, fevered period. The soul, now fully aware of the end of its former life, is confronted with the possibility of rebirth. And it feels the pressure to make a decision. In this stage, memories continue to overwhelm the soul, but now they take on a new form. No longer just reflections of the past, but new imaginings, a storm of possibility. Every choice, every desire begins to materialize before the soul. The mind begins to create scenarios, forming new identities, new lives, new futures. The soul is now facing the cost of all its attachments, its desires, and its fears. Will it inherit the past, or will it break free from it? The third Bardo is critical. It is the crossroad where the soul can choose to liberate itself, or it can return to the cycle of samsara, reborn into another life, another story, another illusion. During this stage, the soul is confronted with the karmic weight of its past, its actions, and its thoughts. The desires that have pulled it through life now create a bridge to the next life, where they will either be transformed or reinforced. But the soul, still trapped in its illusions, may not see the bridge for what it is. It may continue to believe that its desires, the ones that have driven it for so long, are the key to freedom, when in reality those same desires are the chain that bind it to this world. At this point, the soul is caught between two forces, the pull of the past and the call of the future. Will it choose to let go of the past? Can it see beyond the temporary illusions of this world and recognize that true freedom lies in releasing all the desires that once seemed so important? The third Bardo asks the soul to be honest with itself and with its deepest wishes. If it can see through the illusions, if it can understand its role in the cycle of existence, then it will be free to pass through this stage and enter the final Bard of liberation. But if it clings to the desire for new experiences, it will again fall into the cycle of rebirth. As the soul approaches the fourth Bardo, it stands on the brink of liberation, the moment when everything it has ever known is about to disappear. In this state, the soul must let go of everything, its identity, its desires, its past, and even its sense of self. The fourth Bardo is the end of all beginnings. It is where time itself begins to melt away, and all sense of separation disappears. In this place, the soul is no longer bound by the illusion of the body or by the limitations of space. It is a placeless, timeless realm, a space where the soul is pure potential, a vastness that has no borders. But as the soul enters this void, it is not without its fears. In the fourth Bardo, there is no certainty. The soul must now face the ultimate test, to trust the process, to trust in the freedom of not knowing. It must let go of the illusion of control and surrender to the unknown. For many souls, this is the most terrifying part of the journey. To step into the void, to lose all anchors, and face the pure reality of their own existence. But for the brave, those who have been able to let go of their attachments, there is a great reward. The divine peace of union with the universe, the merging with the all. In this moment, the soul is not just free, it is one with everything, a part of the eternal cycle, a being beyond all concepts of self. As it crosses this final threshold, the soul is transformed. It becomes the very fabric of the universe, everywhere and nowhere at once. It is pure consciousness, without beginning or end. In this ultimate state, the soul is no longer seeking anything. It has no desires, no fears, no preferences. It is simply being, and in that being it has found enlightenment. The fourth Bardo is not a place of finality, but a beginning of eternal liberation. From here, the soul may move forward into the next life, or it may choose to remain in the void, a peaceful state of bliss. But in either case, it has let go of the cycle and entered into the mystery of existence itself. The end is just the beginning, and the beginning is everything.